up until now, the discussion about US withdrawal from Europe has been a bit too simplistic. It's always like, will they pull out of NATO or not? Will they abandon us or will they stay? I think it will be something in between. Then, I mean, I'm actually working on this chapter right now on possible scenarios for US withdrawal from Europe, also because you've seen quite some new articles recently, like in foreign affairs, foreign policy, but you also had some broader studies on the costs of a possible US withdrawal from Europe. But these recent articles from foreign affairs and foreign policy, they really, kind of start the debate again that is now behind closed doors, I think, on these different scenarios. And one of the things that comes up often is a decrease of troops in Europe. Before the invasion, full-scale invasion of Ukraine, I think US had about 60,000 troops in Europe. Then it increased until 100,000, but of course this switches all the time and it depends on which numbers you rely on and rotation and stuff. And I think it now kind of stabilized on 80,000. So one of the scenarios is that, for example, next year they could announce to go back to this 60,000, so kind of pre-war situation. And then maybe another 10 or 20,000 over the years, but of course with a kind of timeline, because it's also not easy to just get these troops out of Europe. I mean, it's a whole logistical process that will take years, of course, or you just go away
Is
like
that part of
Afghanistan and you leave us your tanks. Thanks. It's also
yeah, which might have been better that doing it here than there. But what does that mean for the
indeed.
European reaction? Is there and I say Europe as if there's one thing, but what does that mean for the individual kind of states who then have to fill those gaps? Is there a slowness because of the expectation that this will be a long process and there's no need to act in the immediate short term, which is hard politically, domestically?
Think because of all the different steps or the big gaps currently already for a lot of European armed forces, they are just not really thinking about that yet. Also, we haven't planned with taking this into account, but also I think NATO defense planning hasn't planned with taking this into account. So it also would be a bit special from the US if they would announce that, like this year, new capability targets have been announced. We had the new NATO plans, I think it was 2022, that they have been decided upon. I mean, that makes it, of course, difficult. So I think for Europe, we don't have the full picture right now in the sense that we don't know if you have to send a reassurance force to Ukraine and how many troops there will be, and if there will be a US backstop, how significant that will be, if it's just symbolic or with real material support. Then we also don't know if the US would withdraw troops from Europe. So kind of those are the two main question marks that I think Europe is facing right now. And it's difficult to prepare for that because basically if both of these scenarios end up asking a lot more from European states, I think we're just not able to do it on short term. So the best we can do is try to let the US stay a bit on our side. That's also what you have seen, like this summer, this whole kind of charm operation by European leaders towards Trump and also Mark Rutte of NATO. I think it was the best option, or it still is the best option for Europe to do, because we don't have the cards on the table right now to take another strategy.